Shamari, CEO, CMarkits. Good morning, Youssef, and Happy New Year.
Good afternoon, Sandra, and very Happy New Year to you and to the viewers as well.
Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, Youssef, of course, we would like to kick off with the OPEC Plus decision. So do you think that this is a brave decision or just, how can I say, pretty logical one?
Well, I'm not actually surprised by what we saw yesterday. The policy of OPEC Plus seems to have gone from a policy that is unpredictable into a policy that is pretty much predetermined, and that's what we actually seen throughout the 2021. And I wouldn't expect a policy that will also see a major change in 2022. Certainly, that is mainly here, I would say, Omicron, which could have possibly been the major factor of uncertainty on the markets and could have affected the group decision. But let's see, throughout December, the last meeting, which in December meeting was left in session, that is in progress, and it was drawn to close just yesterday. So in fact, effectively, it ran into a month. But that was because what that shows, it shows that the group was concerned about any sudden changes on the markets due to sudden, for example, policy regulations on travel restrictions or mobility. And that's why they left that meeting in session. But certainly, I think they are very much less concerned about the Omicron situation when it comes to the upcoming months. So, but let's see now. The demand figures. The demand figures continue to be strong, and I believe this is a major factor why the group decided to keep pumping up the agreed quota, which is 400,000 barrels a day. In addition, if we look at the supply data coming from the OPEC Plus, for example, if we look at Platts figures, we see that there is a major the gap between what the group intends to supply and what actually has been supplied. It tends to diverge as we move throughout the next months in 2022. And there's an expected gap between the targeted supply and the effective actual supply by about 2 million barrels by September next year. So, and I believe here, this is the major factor that actually has supported the group's decision to continue ahead with their decision, which is pumping 400,000 barrels, because they know that some countries won't actually be able to achieve that target.
So let me just show everybody very quickly the ADP employment, 807K versus 400K expectations. So this is well above expectations. We're talking about a U.S. private sector. We're going to discuss the story a little bit later on the show. So let me just get back very quickly, of course, to the energy market. Youssef, I was wondering what or which are going to be the major crude oil or energy market drivers in 2022. And do you foresee such a, how can I say, positive season in 2022 for the crude oil prices?
I certainly am very optimistic about oil, and than much before because just yesterday when OPEC finished their meeting, we saw Brent trading exceeding $80, and I believe there is no reason why we wouldn't see $85 at some point in 2022, and I believe it even could go even higher than that. Just the demand figures are still strong, and I'm very optimistic as we move towards the summer next year. Perhaps the hardest seasons will be Q1 because today we see major countries, especially in Europe, announcing high figures from the infections of Omicron. But as we continue to move towards the summer, I believe the markets will have a good rally. In fact, even now, we don't see major impact of the COVID situations being priced in the markets right now. And I believe because traders or investors are excluding the possibility of major lockdowns in the on global transport, aviation, or local mobility. And I believe this is the reason why the market isn't being pushed down by the number of cases that are being recovered on a daily basis.
Thank you very much. Youssef Al-Shamari, CEO, CMarkits. Thank you for joining us, and of course, have a great day ahead.
You too.